welcome to our video. Today, in this topic, we are going to discuss the comparison between the two big countries, Russia and India. Myself, Rutuja Mandhare.
And my name is Mukul Sharma.
I'm Saezel Rana.
I am Rutuja Sakharkar. I am going to tell about the forms of states of India and Russia. On the basis of form of government, in Russia, the 1993 constitution declares Russia a democratic federative law-based state with a republican form of government. India is a federal, quasi-federal democratic republic with a parliamentary system of government. Branches of Russia. State power is divided among the legislative, executive, and judiciary. In India, Parliament is the supreme legislative body of India, comprised of President and two houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Leaders of Russia. President Vladimir Putin, Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin. President of India is Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister is Narendra Modi. Types of states. In Russia, there are 46 oblasts, 22 republics, 9 krays, 4 autonomous okrugs, 3 federal cities, 1 autonomous oblast, and in India there are 28 states and 8 union territories. Capital of Russia is Moscow and of India is Delhi. Now some of the basic principles in the Constitution of India and Russia. First, Russia. First is firm faith in rights and liberties of the people. It assigns supreme value to the man and his rights and freedom. Second is popular sovereignty, that is, supreme power of the people and the source of all power of the Russian Federation. Third is equal uniform citizenship of Russian Federation. It means that each citizen enjoys a single, equal and uniform citizenship of Russian Federation. Fourth is Russia as a social state. Russia is a social state committed to create through its policies to develop a system of social services and to establish government pensions, benefits and other social security guarantees. Fifth is economic principles. Guarantees economic space, free movement of goods and services and financial resources. Sixth is ideological pluralism. It recognizes political pluralism, multi-party system, and legal equality of all political associations. Seventh is secularism. It states that there is no state religion or mandatory religion in Russia. All religions are equal before law. Eighth is supremacy of the constitution. The constitution of the Russian Federation enjoys supreme legal status and is applicable to all parts of the Russian Federation. Now, some of the basic principles in the Constitution of India. First is fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are the right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, culture, etc. Second is popular sovereignty. Citizens have the ultimate right to determine in whose hands the powers should be. Third is directive principles. It ensures that the state shall strive to promote the welfare of the people by securing a social order. Fourth is cabinet government. It is responsible for the government and coordination of the policies of the government. Fifth is socialism. It believes that the means of making, moving, and trading wealth should be owned or controlled by the workers. Sixth is federalism. It refers to the relations between the center and the states of the Union of India. Seventh is secularism. In India, it means a state that supports or participates in a neutral manner in the affairs of all religious groups. Eighth is judicial independence. Independence of judiciary is for the purpose of fair justice. Now, some of the fundamental duties in the Constitution of Russia. Respect the Constitution of the USSR, to observe the law, to maintain labor discipline, honestly to perform public duties, to respect the rules of socialist intercourse, and that of India, respect the Constitution, to cherish and follow the noble ideas, protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity, to safeguard public property. Thank you.
So, first, I'm going to tell you about the administrative territorial structure of the state. So, on the basis of the constitution, according to Russian constitution, the Russian Federation consists of the republics, Krays, Oblast, and autonomous okrugs, and all of which are the equal subject of the Russian Federation. India is a large country comprising of the state, union territories, and are divided into the districts. The lowest primary administrative unit of the administrations are the villages in the rural areas and the towns in the urban areas. So now, on the basis of governed by in Russia, it is governed by the Russian Federation, and in India, it is governed by the central and the state government and the territories of the legislature. On the basis of division, currently Russia Federation is divided into 21 republics, 6 krays, and 2 federal cities, and 46 oblasts and 4 autonomous okrugs, and India comprises 28 states and 8 union territories and 36 entities. On the basis of political representation in Russia, the 6 parties have the member in the federal parliament, the state Duma, with one dominant party. And in India, the total number of the parties registered was 2,598, and the and the 8 national parties and 52 state parties, and 2,538 unrecognized parties. In Russia, there are the 6 union territory unitary states, and in India, there are the 8 unitary states. In Russia, Yedinaya Russia is the ruling political party, and in India, BJP, which is Bharatiya Janata Party, which is the ruling party. So now, on understanding the person, their rights and the responsibilities. So on the basis of the civil rights, there are some basic rights of the Russia are right to equality, right to life, right to personal dignity, right to privacy, and right to family life. And now in India, under the Article 19, the freedom to speech, expression, and in Russia under the Article 29, the people have the freedom to thought and speech. So on the basis of the rights, there are the 6 fundamental rights in India: right to equality, right to freedom, right to against exploitation, right to freedom of the religion, right to the culture and the educational right, and the right to the constitutional remedies. And in Russia, under the Article 26, the people have right to determine and declare his nationality. In India, under the Article 10, the content of the rights of the citizenship, and some women rights. In India, under the article, the freedom to speech and expression mm, sorry, in India, the women have reservation in panchayats, etc., and women have the right to equal pay, and the women have right to engage the domestic violence, and women have the right to get free legal aid. And in Russia, the women have right to paid maternity leave, and Russia women are entitled to equal protection of the law and the equal enjoyment of their civil and the political rights. Thank you.
Okay.
So, I'm going to discuss about the judiciary of Russia and India. There is not a separate integrated judiciary in Russia as it is in India. The judiciary has the Supreme Court and the Constitution Court at the apex. The judiciary of Russia and India interrupts and applies the law. There are many courts in Russia and India. The Supreme Court is at the apex and has the main power in the hand in both Russia and India. The Supreme Court looks after the main and interesting cases of the state, and tries to solve it with a jury and a judge. There are several chambers of the Supreme Court with 3 judges. There are civil, criminal, electrical, uh, military, and administrative appeals. The High Court. The High Court are bound by the judgments and the orders of the Supreme Court by procedure. The courts have jurisdiction over a state, a union territory, and a group of states. Primary work of most high courts consists of appeals from lower court. The members of the high court are appointed by the president. The district court is seen in Russia. It was called as the People's Court till 1996. It is formed in urban areas and cities. The district court has appellant judicium over all substitute and looks after the civil and the criminal records of the state. The abbreviation code is seen in India. The abbreviation codes looked after the contractual ideas, the contract changes, and the business or the bank accounts of India. Now I am going to tell you about the head of the state. The head of the state of Russia and India is the president. The power is split between the president and the prime minister, but the dominant role is of the president. The president in Russia is elected by a majority of the people and if and for a consecutive of 6 years for a consecutive term of 2 years. The, the president in India is elected by the Parliament of India, where they have to prove that why they want to be the president and what works they can be do to be the president. The eligibility for the president in Russia and India is the same. The member should be 35 years old and it should be a member of the Russian or the Indian Federation, and he should be a permanent resident of Russia or India for about 25 years from this. The residence of the president in Russia is Moscow Kremlin, and in India is Rashtrapati Bhavan, which is located in New Delhi. The president of Russia is Vladimir Putin and the president of India is Kovind. So, thank you.
So here I am Mukul Sharma, and first I'm going to discuss on the legislative powers. So difference between Russia and the India will be in the legislative power, upper houses. In Russia, the upper house is Federal Council, and in India, the upper house is Rajya Sabha. And now, on the time period, the Federal Council works over the 5 year terms, whereas the Rajya Sabha works over the 6 year terms. And now, on the basis of members in the Federal Council, in Federal Council of Russia, one choose by the government of each region, and the other uh, one choose by the government of and the other are from the regional legislatures. Two members from each of the 58 federal units. And India, the members of the member capacity of the Rajya Sabha is around 250 seats. And now on the basis of appointed, the one chosen by the as I told you, the one chosen by the in Russian, one chosen by the government of each region and the other by the regional legislature. And in India, there are 204 state representatives, 12 chosen by the presidents, and on the basis of the power, not the basis of the powers. In the Federal Council of Russia has power to appoint and remove the judges and ratify the use of the army. And now, and in India, the Rajya Sabha has the power, and they deal with the national and the international affairs and the laws enforcements. Now, the the lower house of Russia is State Duma, and lower house of India is Lok Sabha. The now the time period, the State Duma works over the 5 year terms, but in 2008 it was about 4 years. But after the amendment, it's now 5 year terms. And now in India, Lok Sabha works over the 5 year terms. On the number of the strengths in State Duma, 140 deputies are appointed, and in the Lok Sabha there are 545 members uh, now appointed. In Russia, the appointees are selected by the in State Duma the proportional representation, and in India, the 535 represents of the state and 20 union territories and two chosen by the president. And now the powers of State Duma. The state Duma power has the powers to pass the bills, budgets, and spend the present the citizens' problems. And in India, the Lok Sabha has power to the House of the People, and it's known as the House of the People. So it has the powers of people. So they can pass the budgets, bills, and same as the citizen problems and lots of bills and budgets. Now I'm going to tell you about the executive power of India. Executive powers. Uh, Now, it is defined by it is defined by us that India has a presidential rule, but it's not that true. In India, the prime minister is the has the main power and the central power, and the president is known as the seal of a rubber because the whole the powers are situated in between the uh, Prime Minister. And as you know, the Indian Prime Minister is Mr. Narendra Singh Modi, Narendra Das Modi. So now executed the executive powers are executed by the in India and Russia. The executive powers is exercised by the government of Russian Federation and the the chairman. We can call as the prime minister, and the chairman is appointed by the president. And the president, as we know, the president is of Russia is Vladimir Putin, and he chosen the prime minister with the consequences of the state dooms. And now in India, the executive power is headed by the president. It's just known as it headed by the president of India, and has all the constitutional powers to exercise them and directly or thoroughly uh, overcome with this and through the subordinates offices. So now you can see this is the Indian Parliament. And the upper house and lower house are both work in the same building in the same premises. It's cover approx 48 to 78 acres, and you can see that this is the state Duma, or I think I always confuse in it. It is a state Duma, and here again it is the parliament, and in this region the Lok Sabha is work there, and this is the federal council's building. And if we are talking about the executive powers in India, the executive power are ruled over this building. Just like America has a White House, this is a Indian White House where the president live in India, and the executive powers are ruled from here. And now and this is the executive power mm, are run by this building, which is the federal council. And as you can see, this is the our parliament. So I hope we make you better understand this comparison between comparison of the constitution between the India and the Russia, and they are really friendly international countries. Thank you for listening us. I hope